Dr. Tamra Harville here to talk to you about critical reading and thinking. This is different than just plain reading for fun. So let's get into it. Critical reading, it begins with previewing. A quick review of the author, publication, the title, headings, visuals, maybe the first and last paragraphs or the first sentence of the body paragraphs. These will help you get the main information that they're trying to focus on. But be skeptical. Just because something is in print does not mean it's true. So say you're doing an academic research paper and you are looking at a journal article. How do you know you can trust it? So first, find out who wrote it. Who are they? What are their credentials? Are they just writers, or are they experts in their field? Do they have credentials such as a doctorate, or are they a professor in something? Have they been studying their topic for a long time? Where do they work? What's their occupation? Their age? That's probably not as important anymore. What are their interests and values? So this can help you figure out who the author is and why you should believe and trust them. This is also part of ethos or ethos. So content. Where, when, and by whom was the piece published? The where was it in an academic journal, or was it just a random website? Who published it? Was it a well-known journal or just a random website? What is the reputation of the publisher? Is it the New York Times or the Onion? If it's a web page, who created the web page? Scroll down to the very bottom and look at that copyright date and see if it's been recent and who created it. It could be just about anybody. This will help you make sure that the source itself is reputable. So this actually can help with logos as well. The purpose and the audience. What does the title tell you about the piece? What do the first and last paragraphs imply? What provoked the author to write it? I mean, are they just writing it for the fun of it, or are they trying to inform you? Are they trying to just entertain you, instruct you to do something, trying to persuade you to act on something or think a specific way? So are they entertaining, informing, or persuading? That can make a difference. Okay, do you suspect the writer is trying to, or who do you think they are trying to teach or to entertain? Who's the audience? Are they just everybody? If you're reading a scientific journal, it's probably scientifically minded people, and there might be some verbiage way out of your league of vocabulary. That's happened to me several times. So that's because I'm not the main audience. It's people who understand those particular terms. Is it a scholarly journal? And does the entire piece reflect your thoughts, or do they have some opposing thoughts? Keep in mind, knowing the opposing thoughts isn't there just to change your mind. It's to show you that there are pros and cons to almost everything you read, everything you know. So be careful not to take things out of context. So if you have a source that has two different sides, don't just pick what you want to know and keep in mind all that information is there and necessary. Annotate. This just means taking notes. Imagine that you're in a dialogue with the writer. You're talking back and forth. So annotating, you can underline or highlight, circle words, phrases, or sentences that stick out to you as something you need to know. If it's a term you don't know, look it up and write the definition down, either in the margin or on a piece of paper or something, to help you remember what that word means. Not knowing a word can change the entire meaning of a sentence. Record your reaction. Do you agree or disagree with the author? Sometimes when I'm reading an academic journal, I'll put little happy and sad faces. It's like if I like what they said or don't like what they said. Maybe they didn't give me enough information. Maybe they were lacking in something and didn't give me, the exact evidence I needed. I might put a little frowny face to say this is where they could have strengthened their paper. So occasionally pause and put down in your words what they're saying. This is paraphrasing, and it'll help you understand more. Analyzing is taking out the significant parts and examining how they're related to each other. Asking what, how, and why. So if you're analyzing, yes, you can tell us that a writer is doing something, but how well are they doing it? That's when you get into analysis. Identify their main point. It's usually at the beginning, but sometimes at the ending of the text. What's their stance on it? Are they standing up for something, or are they just sharing random information? What are they trying to prove? What is their voice? Are they being judgmental? Are they just, being an enthusiastic preacher, thoughtful teacher, reassuring friend? Their voice and their stance can make a difference. The development of ideas and effect. What kind of support are they using to develop their points? This actually strengthens their ethos, their credibility, because, for example, type 2 diabetes. I have it. My husband has it. My parents had it. That doesn't make me an expert, but if I used the American Diabetic Association and quoted them in my paper, then I'm actually improving my credibility because I'm using somebody that's credible. Does the writer define in key terms? If not, define them yourself. Do they tell relevant stories? Are they trying to make a connection and make you care about that topic? This would be pathos. Are they trying to provide logical reasoning? If they're not being logical, what are they lacking in? Why aren't they being logical? What is the text's effect on your images, ideas, beliefs, and actions? Reading is supposed to broaden our horizons, not just be something we already know. So if they challenge you, that means they're doing a pretty good job. Does the text use any words, phrases, cliches, images, or examples that appeal to you emotionally? If they appeal to you emotionally, it means that they're wanting to get the readers really involved with the topic. Synthesis. Synthesizing is taking a bunch of different things and sticking them together. So, for example, your words, author 1, author 2, author 3, and you don't just write about each one individually. Author 1 can agree with author 2, but author 3 could be completely opposing what they have to say. Synthesis is bringing all that information together from at least 2 different people. Make sure that you are assessing the reliability and potential bias. Bias is their opinion. If they are incredibly opinionated, they may not be open-minded enough to consider all aspects of that topic. They might just be trying to persuade you based on what they want you to know and not everything. Media is very biased. And so each source might have some. You got to check it off and see what's biased and what's factual. Are they supporting it? Are they explaining it well? Evaluate the stories and create a composite or a synthesis of what you think really happened. So take things from different authors and put them together. To think critically is fundamental because it's making you get involved. If you just read and take it for what it is, you're not learning. Question what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're reading. Read between the lines. Try to find truth or false information that they have given you. Analyze and evaluate what they're saying by the type of reasoning that they're using, and question their logic. Is the evidence that they're writing about accurate? Make sure that if they have any facts, that they're presented as correct information and that it's relevant. If they're giving you facts that are way off topic, then they're not really supporting what it is they are trying to say. Make sure that the writer's conclusion is supported by that evidence too, and that they're not just trying to throw a bunch of bias at you or opinion. Is what they offered you sufficient? If they are leaving you asking questions, they're not giving you enough information, so they're lacking. Evaluate their claims. A claim is a point or a thesis, a main idea. What are they asserting about that topic? And is it clear? Is it precise? Is it fair? Are they using words such as might or possibly, or are they making a firm statement? This is true. Are they making a statement of fact? Are they making a statement that a few people would argue with? Does the claim respond to a question or raise an issue of real concern to his audience? If not, they're just blowing smoke, right? Is it important to remember that the thesis says something to argue about the topic? Yes. Evaluate the grounds for the claim. What is the reasoning, the facts, the statistics? Are they giving you that information? If not, they need to, right? Does the writer present the data, cite statistics, quote authorities, or tell narratives to support the assertions? If not, they probably need to. This is how you evaluate their writing and how well they did their job. Do they use different kinds of evidence, or are they just relying on one type? Are their reasons and evidence relevant to their claim, or are they going off topic? Are they counteracting or contradicting themselves? Are they presenting enough evidence? If not, where could they have added more? Warrants are logical arguments, and they're depending on the assumptions or the grounds of the claim. What does the reader have to assume or take for granted to accept the reasons, to accept that evidence? What do they have to already assume? And does it reflect bias, negative, positive attitude? What are the logicians, the experts saying? Or are they going off point? Are they making errors called fallacies, mistakes in what it is they're talking about? How would you use it? Which would you use? Okay, so an article published in an academic journal from June 6th of 2001. Why or why not would you trust it? I would say no, because 2001, that's 23 years ago from today. So that's a long time. And in the sciences, especially, that's too long. You want stuff that's more recent. Okay, a website with some links not working, but has relevant information. Caution it if the links aren't working, because it means that they're not updating information or staying current, and it might be old, outdated material. An article published online in 18 January 21 that is biased but contains good information. Why or why not would you use it? Well, while it's biased, if the scientific information is correct, it could be okay. Just avoid taking things out of context and leaning into their bias. And the Wikipedia conundrum. Do you trust Wikipedia? No, don't trust them. However, you can go to them. Just do what's called reverse research. Look up your word or your topic, go down to their resources, their references that they use, and click on them and go to the main source that they're using to find your information. That will help you find more articles that you can use. That's all I have. I hope it helped.